Hey guys, today we're going to be tackling a long requested video, and it's how exactly I make my Apex Shorts videos. As you can see, my NVIDIA Shadow Play settings are all set to high or custom. So if you want to change those, you'll have to stop recording or stop having the passive record on for your Shadow Play, but you can change those pretty easily. So I don't set my bitrate too high because sometimes I've experienced crashes. Now I edit my videos using Sony Vegas, so let's take a look at my settings here, starting with the project settings. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the width and height from 1920 by 1080 to 1080 by 1920. After that, we're going to adjust our frame rate setting from 29.97 to 59.94. And from there, we're just going to go ahead and make sure the rest of our settings are set to best. And after that, you're going to want to disable your resample. You're really going to want to make sure that this is disabled, or else your videos are going to come out looking choppy and staticky. It's not good. So from there, we're going to go ahead and import our video track into the timeline. You're going to want to say no when it asks if you want to match the video settings to your render settings or your project settings. And from there, we're just going to go ahead and duplicate the video track 4 times. So we'll have 4 video tracks in total. All right, and then we're going to want to put our slider back at the start after checking to make sure that we don't have 4 audio tracks. And from there, we're going to click on Pan Crop, and that's going to go ahead and make sure that we have the correct video settings. So we're going to change our video from 1920 by 1080 to 1080 by 1920. So that will zoom everything in towards the center a little bit. You won't have the outer edges on your videos, but that's okay. We're going to figure that out later. And from there, we'll just close that. All right, after that, we are going to go to Track Motion and just drag out one of the corners of that bottom track. All right, and that will give us a stretched out view, and that will serve as the background to our short. From there, we're going to go into our video effects and select defocus, and this is the defocus settings here, and that will make the background a little blurry, which is a better aesthetic than just having a black background. After that, we're going to go ahead and make the second video track the same as the first in a sense. We're going to do the short base video settings, which is 1080 by 1920 rather than 1920 by 1080. All right, and on our third video track, what we're going to do is go ahead and create a mask. So I already have these pre-created, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. And then I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and remake it myself here, just to show you guys exactly how to do it. So we're just going to select our anchor tool, and we're going to create these anchors around our little health bar, just like that. All right, now we've got a full mask. I'm going to go ahead and use the one that I've previously created just because it looks a little nicer and a little cleaner. I don't want to exactly bore you and spend all of this video just making a perfect mask. All right, and after that, we're going to go back to the top portion, and we are going to go ahead and make sure that our mask is on the appropriate spot on the screen. So what we're going to do is we are going to have to close in one side of this. I've previously done this already through a preset, so I'm actually just going to show you the preset settings here because it takes a little long to get it lined up. All right, these are the values that I use. You should pause the video now if you need an extra second to look at them, but I'm going to try and leave them up so you don't have to pause. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to move the cropped area around just to show you exactly how that'll affect our mask. All right, now I'm just going to move it back to the center as it normally is. All right, so we're going to do a similar thing on the top track here. This time we are going to make a mask around the gun. So I'm going to show you the values again for positioning for the crop, and then we're going to take a look at getting into the mask. So here's the values real quick. All right, and here's the mask for the gun. So in this case, it's a bow, not a gun, but same thing still applies. There's our anchor points, and you just close off the mask as you did with the previous one. All right, so now we're going to look into the effects here. So we're going to add some saturation to our main track, which is the second track from the bottom. You can see what it looks like with it on, and here's my values. All right, now I'm going to show what it looks like when it's off here as well. I'm not sure exactly how well that's going to show with the compression that I had to use with OBS, but you'll see a really noticeable difference when you do this for yourself. Now, I'm also going to add some sharpness to the track. That does make a little bit of a difference, makes everything look a little bit cleaner, a little bit sharper, as the name would suggest. And from there, we're just going to hop into render because we're done. That's it. All right, so here's the render settings. I'm going to customize the template. All right, and again, we're just going to make sure that everything matches our project settings. So the width and height is 1080 by 1920 rather than 1920 by 1080. Our frame rate is 59.94. So the min and max bitrate are actually going to be fine by default when you have them set to high settings. But if you want to go ahead and raise them, just go ahead and do that. It's whatever you're comfortable with. And from there, we're pretty much done. So you just go ahead and click render. And from there, we just wait for it to finish. And here's the final product. All right, so that's going to be it for today's video. I don't have anything else for you today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And I hope you got something out of today's video. All right, see you everyone.